I think it was 2004, probably about the start of 2004, when Albie and Mitch and T-Bags, they've been playing together with Voice of Aggression, and I think they wanted to do something different. And my mate Ben from Australia was over, and we came down and we sort of bumped into each other and we started speaking and that, and then I asked if I wanted to play the drums, and then I asked Ben if he wanted to play guitar. I knew him from a band that I'd played in before, and had another Australian guy called Pete in them. So, and Pete and Ben had played together, so I knew that Ben was into that sort of stuff. So yeah, we just came down. Ben was staying at Drum the Rocket at the time, and we started having a few jams, and that was pretty much the start of Filthpact. I think we'd done our first gig in April.
Played about 150 gigs between 2004 and 2007. We did quite a lot of tours. We went on tour in mainland Europe quite a few times. We went over to Finland. We did quite a few tours of Ireland, so we were pretty busy during that sort of 3.5 years together. The general sort of feel of the lyrics would be that perhaps there is a sort of alternative option in that you don't need to follow the mainstream approach, I guess. I mean, there is alternatives in everything you do, and just for people to be a bit more aware of their actions and also the actions of others and what's going on round about them and the sort of consequences of their actions upon themselves.
What other anger is there? It's the thing, I'm not really an angry person. I've never really been an angry person. But I reckon everyone's probably got a bit of anger in them. And they need to get rid of it somehow. Some people do it by getting drunk and going out on a Friday night and beating someone up that they don't know. I'm not the type of person that's going to do that. I'd rather play in a band, get it all out that way. I've sang in a few bands, and that's probably the most anger I've ever gotten off my chest at once. And I'd like to do it that way. It's just going back to the cathartic thing. It's like cleansing yourself out. Getting rid of all of it in one go rather than letting it build up until the point where you're just, you know, sitting in the shower crying.
Songs that are about like immigration and the whole sort of consensus against immigration that seems to be coming through from the mainstream media, from various political parties, and we've got songs against that and sort of pointing out the positives of immigration towards this country. We've also got songs about xenophobia, racism and fascism.
Because we all thought the same way, and we just, as soon as we started, we knew we were going to be a DIY, hardcore, crust, whatever it was, band. Follow the DIY ethics.
I also think that tonight, for this little number, we need a guest singer to come up on stage. I know that he knows all the words off by heart. Deep in his soul, Lemmy is there, and he can come on stage and sing this song with us.
But I think the band itself represents something quite important in the Scottish punk scene, maybe, like, you know, the sort of getting out there and doing it attitude, you know. They've, I don't know, done everything themselves, toured all around Europe and played everywhere, you know, they're not worried about money or what's fashionable or something like that, you know. They just show to other people, you know, you can write some tunes, you can get out there and do it. I don't know.
I mean, it's interesting just now, isn't it? I mean, like the sort of the things that are happening, sort of in the political sphere, and the sort of the repoliticalisation of the youth. You know, with the student demonstrations and things like that. You know, it's that's something that's been missing in this country for quite a long time. And you know, to go back to your question about the difference between like the Scottish punk scene and the European punk scene. It's maybe transcended that a little bit now, and I mean, if people in Britain are realising that, you know, that through demonstration and protest they can make their voices heard, then that's a big improvement on the way things have been over the past few years, because you know, people haven't really gone to that. I mean, I suppose like with, you know, with the Iraq War, and it was how many fucking million people walked against that to say that they were against it, and the government went ahead and done it anyway. You know, and like the banks at the moment, you know, they're saying that they're going to bring in, they're going to limit the bonuses that bankers get paid, and the bankers say, oh, but then we won't be able to attract all the fucking bright people, and all the bright people will go to work for banks like in Asia and stuff like that don't have any regulation, and then we'll have to fucking fold because they'll be better than us. Well, so fuck. So fuck.
Well, that's what,
you know what I mean?
is
Yeah.
They monopolise in one market.
That's why I've started learning about horses. So we can all go back to medieval times.
I don't know, political standpoint is pretty basic. Be anti-fascist. I wouldn't really call us anarchists.
Well, to a degree.